Welcome back, guys. UC Organic Backyard Gardening. Want to give you guys a quick update on as to what's going on in the garden, where we are as for midsummer production. As you can see right here in bed number 4, full production of beans, and that's purple pod, black eyed peas, and lima beans. Right now we've got drip irrigation going. We've got about 11 minutes left on the drip irrigation. As you can see, we've got the water drops. Uh, our cucumbers are now, about 3, almost 4 feet tall, hitting the trellis, getting ready to do its thing. And as you can see, the beans, the snap beans, driving lovely up that trellis, doing exactly what we want it to do at this particular point. Our honeydew melon is also hitting the trellis, beginning to climb its way around. At the beginning, I had to do just a little bit of weaving, and it pretty much caught on itself. As you can see, the tendrils, anything they touch, they begin to wrap themselves around. Our cantaloupe, as you can see as well, is beginning to wrap itself on the trellis. Again, giving it a little boost starting out, but it takes over on its own after that. And the watermelon jamming right along about 3 or 4 feet up the trellis. So everything is moving exactly the way it should be, as well as expected. So we are going to continue to monitor and make sure that everything is doing exactly what it needs to be doing. Bed number 3. Now bed number 3 needs a little bit of weeding. I'm not worried about that. We've got beets and radishes. As you can see, 2 full rows, 30 feet long all the way down. And then we've got our carrots. It's very hard to tell because we've got weeds in. Now, if I was to take my time and weed this, it'll probably take me about an hour to weed this one bed. And look at our okra. Guys, that okra is jamming in this hot heat weather. And as you can see, our drip irrigation, it's right at the plant. Lovely. So those things are moving right along. Now I'm not doing anything to them. I'm not trimming them. I'm just going to let them go and see what happens. Stalks are getting very large and in charge. All the way down. 30 feet of okra. I tell you what, my neighbors and my friends and family better like okra, because I'm going to be giving a lot of this away. There is no way I'll be able to eat that okra. Bed number 2, as you can see, is in full swing as well. Beans again, 3 rows of purple pod, and then we've got our beets. Now these beets, I've thinned these beets twice already. Cut the leaves, cooked them, sauteed them in butter, garlic, and red pepper flakes. Now we do have beets, but they're not quite the size I want them to be just yet, so we're going to continue to let those grow. But very delicious recipe. I also tried the stems this year, sauteed those. It takes a little bit longer because they're a little tougher, but tastes just as good. Bed number 1, zucchini. Now, trying this vertical growing zucchini stuff doesn't seem to be working out very well. So I'm going to try a different experiment with them because it's not allowing me to get any zucchini. So I'm going to have to do some more research on that. Same thing with the yellow squash. Man, I am getting yellow squash out the Watusi. I mean, I've picked yellow squash already, and these things are very prolific. I mean, we've got yellow squash all over the place. Look at that, guys. Yellow squash. I can tell right now I'm gonna get sick of yellow squash. We got so much of it. So they're doing very, very well. Vertically growing those two, man, I tell you, I don't know about that vertical thing. I may have to just let those grow the way they are and just do their thing. Our peppers, we've got massive peppers everywhere. Chili peppers, regular peppers, candy cane peppers, jalapeno peppers, as we can see right there. Jumbo jalapenos. They're all over the place. Harvesting will probably be in the next few days. And those things are growing very, very fast. Eggplant. Now, the eggplant is definitely growing. As you can see how thick and bushy they are becoming. Now, I don't know about trimming or pruning these things. I'm going to do a little research on them. But I'm just letting them grow. Now, we do have an eggplant. Check that out. That is beautiful. I love it. We've got lots of flowers. So it looks like we are definitely going to have more eggplant. So we're looking very, very good in bed number 1. Now our apple tree, check it out, guys. We have about 22 apples on this tree. As I've done the trimming across the bottom, none at the top. Apples seem to be doing very well this year. So I am going to let it do its thing and just keep rocking and rolling. Blackberries. The blackberries, the Triple Crown is just beginning to turn a little orange. Massive, massive production. It still need to be netted. If I don't, I tell you what, the birds are going to kill these blackberries, as I will show you on the opposite end. Now, not embarrassed, but just to show you, look at my strawberry patch. Look at the weeds. Boy, I haven't done anything with it. None whatsoever. And I need to take some time and get in here and weed it out and straighten it out. Because if not, it is going to get lost. So everything has been kept up except the strawberry bed. So I'm gonna have to take a full day and get in here and straighten it out and get it weeded out, and so that it can start back on production. Blackberries, as you can see, we've got blackberries everywhere. We've got new growth coming up out of the ground. Red blackberries, blackberries. The birds are having a feast, especially the robins. They love the blackberries. And as you can see, we've got massive blackberries everywhere. If I don't pick them, the birds will eat them all. I'm not too worried about it. Blackberries are very massive. It produces lots and lots every year. As you can see right here, this is very prolific, this plant right here. And it's still green, so I still have a lot that I can collect as far as blackberries. So competing with the birds, nature's gonna win some of its challenges. You can't win them all, and I'm not trying to. So it's fun to grow them and watch and compete with nature. I love it. It's a challenge. Now, let's take a look at our melons for a brief second. As you can see now, the melons are about 7 feet tall, growing up the trellis all the way down. And as you can see, it's thin, good aeration, tiger melon, sweet melon, Kajari melon. Now, the Kajari melon is very, very prolific. and has already gotten berries on it. And as you can see here, guys, I've done thinning of the large leaves so that we can have good airflow. To give you a brief look, let's see if we can find a melon that's actually developed. There's one right. There's one right there. A really, really good picture right there. That is definitely fertilized. We've got one here. They're all over the place. It looks like about 8, and I believe there was one rich sweetness melon. Tiger melon has not begun to develop yet. As you can see, we've got massive flowers, male flowers everywhere. No females yet. They are just now beginning to emerge, the female tiger melons. So I'm assuming that it will catch up because we've got lots and lots of side shoots everywhere. But here's the rich sweetness melon. Very beautiful, very, very distinctive. So we are going to continue to manage what we've been doing, and hopefully everything turns out exactly the way it should. Our tomatoes, as you can see now, the storm that came through last week ripped my tomatoes. I mean, as you can see, broke limbs everywhere. So we lost a lot of the tomatoes, but the ones that survive, as you can see, we've got tomatoes. We've got the teardrop yellow cherry tomatoes. Yeah. And this is my deck watermelon plant that we're growing. As you can see, it is on the move. Vines everywhere. I'm gonna let it grow on the deck. I'm gonna lay down some black tarp across the steps and allow this to grow watermelon on the deck itself. We're gonna see how that works out. Here's my other tomato plant. As you can see, have already reached what, 4.5, almost 5 feet tall. It's past the stake now in the ground. And we do have tomatoes looking very nice. So definitely on the move. I have to water these daily, almost 3 times a day because of the heat, and because they're in pots. They dry out very fast. So we're just going to keep doing what we're doing. And the last but not least, we're going to look at our grapevines. As you can see, we've got grapes everywhere. Massive, massive amounts of grapes. That is the top as well as the bottom. Beautiful canopy. Obviously, you've got some that are growing outside of the canopy, and that's okay. You can't enclose them all underneath the net. But as you can see, clusters are becoming beautiful and large. And they are all the way down. And so as you can see, we are definitely getting lots and lots of grapes this year. So we are going to keep managing the way we're doing. We're going to keep thinning and making sure, we look out for diseases and things like that. But I want to give you guys a update on the garden. It's not brief. It's about 15 minutes. But to cover every single thing as quickly as possible, it takes about that long. This is a pretty big garden. This is my newest grapevine, which we will get grapes from next year. So the cordons have completely grown themselves. So we are ready and rocking and rolling. So all in all, everything is moving exactly the way it should mid-season. UC Organic Backyard Gardening. Midsummer production. As I always say, if I can do it, you can do it. All you have to do is get started. Until next time, happy gardening.